Hello, merhaba. Şimdi akşam diyemeyeceğim, daha çok gece. Electrosexual ile beraber bir canlı yayınımız var NOH Radyo'dan. Bu gece biraz özgürlük ve dans alanı üzerinde konuşacağız. Şimdi İngilizceye geçiyorum. İyi seyirler, teşekkürler. So, hello.
Hi.
So nice to have you here this weekend.
Thank you for having me.
So I introduced in Turkish, which you are learning, I think, that we would be talking a bit about the dance floor and freedom and the space of the public space of dance.
And creating space for it.
Yeah, and love.
The concept of creating a space.
I think so, because once you have the space, then you are free to do what you want in it. But first you have to set the boundaries for that space.
You need to provide the area to make it somehow a safer space. I think safer is more realistic than safe space.
Yeah.
And then once you create the space and you allow the space, inviting the right people to come together, and then creating a history. I don't know.
Dreams, yeah. It's strange the contrast between boundaries and freedom, because it seems like two contradictory concepts, but it's actually when you have a boundary that you're free to dream within it. And I think that's a bit of what the dance floor is.
It's a bit the idea to protect oneself, right? So
Yeah.
the boundary is more I don't know, not the limits, but the security you can build around yourself to let yourself free, right?
And today we had the opposite here in Istanbul, because we had some people trying to put some boundaries around us in this little village
Absolutely.
of Beyoğlu.
But they cannot erase us, right?
No. So I think with smiles and love, we were able to get past this day, and the boundaries and the police force seem to have disappeared. But I think it's a reminder of the importance of boundaries both ways.
Yeah, it's really important to exist, right?
Yeah.
Existing is politic, and but you need to feel free, or to free yourself to exist.
I think existence is the only thing, but to even remember that we exist is the way forward. But I think a lot of things is about forgetting that we exist. But music and feeling, when you feel, you remember you exist. So it's very important what you're doing.
The idea is not to self-censorship oneself and to free yourself. But once you feel this censorship on yourself, and you block yourself from becoming your reality.
Yeah, I think so. Then you stop communicating, because then you stop the energy from reverberating.
So coming back to the spaces and how to create a space, how would you say that? What is the reality of creating a space? How do you create a space?
I think you create a space first with a very strong wall. Like, you need a distinction between the outside and the inside, and it needs to be strong. It needs to be strong enough to make a difference between what is out and what is in. So inside, a bit like the mother's womb, you feel safe to be yourself.
Okay. And then it creates waves, and people around also feel this freedom, right?
I think so. It's like a kingdom. But I think you, as a musician and a performer, I think you have two spaces. There must be the space of your studio and the space of your performance area, which is the dance floor. And there's probably a different safety of both. How do you feel as a performer, and how do you feel as an artist in the studio?
It's two different worlds. I think the artist in the studio, it's more about personality, and then also my own world and freedom, and how I can express myself and feel free and create my space. But then when I perform, it's trying to develop this and to hopefully share it with an audience, and create this kind of dynamic and excitement, I don't know, energy, collective consciousness, and I found this very powerful.
Well, I was very excited during your performance last night at at Bangor No Extended, because your music was so clear that I was able to get meditative enough to forget the outside, like to forget the world outside and remain in the boundaries of the club where I'm open, like to be in dreams, to hear the music, so the boundaries are taking place, so I have that freedom. So that was a lovely experience.
Thank you. The idea is to make something ecstatic.
Yeah, it was. It
and
reminded me of my youth.
and an experience to be out of your, of yourself, of your own boundaries, and then just have this out of body experience or something like this on the dance floor, which is this special place where so many different people come together and somehow find unity.
Yes, that's something I've been thinking a lot about recently, because I feel it's unity is the one place in the whole polis, the world I see, is the most in the dance floor.
Yeah. It's this utopia, but also reality that we try to develop and to create.
Yeah, because you don't need a passport, you don't need a heritage, you don't need a class distinction. You don't need to be beautiful or ugly or short or tall. You can just be there, and you can just be there on one condition, that you are open to experience.
Yeah, and there's this silent agreement that everybody wants to accept the other one as they are.
Yeah.
And kind of have a very, experience together.
Yeah.
Without pushing each other away. I found this very beautiful.
So do I. I mean, I've had experiences in many life forms, and I've also seen people trying to find unity in like spiritual resorts.
Yeah.
And about meditation, but I still see that this exists more in the dance floor. Because there is no contract. You're not saying when you enter, it's an unwritten contract.
No, but there's still the medium of the music, the message and the sound, the energy, and music is really a healing medium. When I create music, it's healing myself, and the idea, hopefully, is to heal the dancers, But it's not so strong on my mind when I create something. It's just there. I know it's there.
Yeah,
I've been doing it for some time, and I love when I see it happening on the dance floor. When I see smiles, when I see connection, when I see people that don't know each other becoming, for a moment, this very positive energy of coming together. It's so exciting, and it's totally ecstatic. It's ecstasy for me.
And that's what I felt last night when we were playing in Bangor. I felt like my joy, my spirit opened up again. So
even though if you
can't
have
buy
like
that,
a really bad day, terrible things happening in the world, but at that moment, at that time, you forget everything, and you let yourself go, and you try to find your, ideal self in a way.
When you said there's lots of bad things going on in the world, that's also why I think it's kind of important that we keep on dancing, because the world is going through this stage where there's really terrible things happening, like
trying to
really
us,
irrational, inexplicable, unnecessary bad things happening, and it's kind of a trick to catch the consciousness. So I think we have to do much more of what relieves our consciousness.
Absolutely, yeah. And it will free ourselves. That's the idea. Yeah, and the dance floor also, it's the movement, it's the dance, which is not only the music, it's also the other senses, it's your body. And everyone is very different, but a lot of people have, always issues with their own body, It's sometimes a prison, sometimes a jail. But on the dance floor, you can free really yourself from the body, Having this, fuck my body, I'm just dancing and releasing myself, And I find this very powerful as well, through the dance and the movement.
I think so too. I think when I first started dancing in community, like not on my own, but on a dance floor, I was looking back into like all tribal forms, and before people lived in, before we were, modernized, I think there was much more drums and rhythm in rituals and in communities, and I think those rhythms, they have the power to activate something in us.
Yeah.
I'm sure musicologists know this much better than me, but there is something healing going on.
And there is something realistic about the dance floor and the clubbing and being together through the music and living something, together. This is a ritual as well.
Yeah. I think it's a ritual of our times, but maybe because the times are so difficult now, maybe it's a reason to push it on
makes
further.
even more sense to gather
Yeah.
together and be powerful, with ourselves.
I heard some elder people than us talking about some nightclubs. So, I would never have looked at nightclubs in that way, but they were talking about a specific nightclub here in Istanbul, and in the 90s, and they said it was the first time there was a democratic space here in Turkey. It was the first place that people from all different classes, like a car repairs person and a millionaire could come together doing the same thing. So
Yeah.
and I think it has the same thing going on now. The same people from 16 to 60 or 80 can dance to the same music. I shall see what we're listening to in the background. So this is something much more
Руки на
ambient.
пояс, полуприседания с поворотами туловища.
You decide when we bring it down, though.
Руки на пояс, полуприседания с поворотами туловища. И влево, вправо, влево, вправо, влево, вправо, влево, вправо.
So I was thinking a bit like what inspires me is dancing. So I was inspired last night dancing to you. But I'd like to ask, what inspires you?
What inspires me when I'm playing or when I'm
Both.
creating music?
Both.
Oh, okay.
So let's start with playing.
When I'm playing, well, yesterday, for example, what inspired me, it's always different things. First, my mood, what I feel on the moment, so that I can, reach a certain state where I'm playing and I'm releasing. So it can take some time, and depending on how was the day, what happened, everything. But then very quickly, the people inspire me. When I see a smile, connection with the dancer, with a little talk or something that happens, it gives me a lot of ideas, and then it's all of these sparkles in my mind. Oh, this person, really like this sound, this music, and I see people dancing different ways, and then I can change a little bit what I play, and then I'm already in a good zone myself, and and then I'm ready to start to lead a little bit the dance floor like this.
Yeah.
So it's more what's happening on the moment on the dance floor, the energy of the moment, the energy of the people. And but when I create the music, it's totally different, of course, because it's quite more of a solitary activity, of course. I like to be, I create on my own. Then the inspiration is definitely the music world that I like. the culture of music that inspires me. Like, I don't know, the classic history of house music in the US. All of this always give me a lot of inspiration.
Who were the first people you listened to that really impacted you? Do you remember?
No,
it's a long time ago.
I'm a music lover, so I'm not really thinking about genres. But as long as I remember, I listened to music as a baby, as a kid, and I did have a preference for electronics. I was always very surprised by, I don't know, early electronic music that I could listen on television, for example.
Okay, then I have a special question for you. I've been wondering about to ask someone.
Okay.
Okay, I haven't asked ChatGPT. Okay, but you continue about early electronic music and I will continue.
So yeah, I had definitely a tendency towards that, but then anything that is very emotional driven touch my heart, my soul, my body, my flesh. So I'm always very sensitive to that, whether it's electronic or not. But if it has electronic elements, I'm melting.
Yeah.
So these were my early inspiration for sure. And yeah, as a kid, I always loved to dance and always curious about also creatures I could see on television, you know, ambiguity in the performers. All of this was always catching my eyes. And yeah, these were my first emotional connection with music.
Okay. Well, my question to you is about childhood too. Since Avni told us that we're about the same age, my question, like recently I've been remembering sometimes from the late 80s, and I'm like, what happened to Jean-Michel Jarre? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
He's definitely one of my dad musically.
What?
My dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he was, of course, all over. Yeah.
I think it's very interesting because I think he's like who made electronic music mainstream, but
Totally,
I think he's
like
forgotten. You know, he's like the Kellogg's of.
Probably internationally, yes. In France, he's still active and celebrated and doing a lot of collaborations. But it doesn't get the credit it deserves.
I don't think so either. That's why I wanted to.
But it's definitely one of the first who made this kind of crossover between something very edgy, very complex, very musical, lyrical, and also very pop. You know.
I think it's amazing. I mean, it's been occurring to me in my mind because I'm like, there was someone called Jean-Michel Jarre, and he made it really big. Like he got national. He was there on the French, like when they were celebrating the 200th anniversary of the Republic. It was Jean-Michel Jarre live, you know, and it was electronic music. So I think he must have done a lot to push electronic music out there in the subconscious.
Yeah, I mean, two things. I think electronic music has always been the music of the future.
Yeah.
And for big events like this, big national events like this that were like leading towards the future, they needed electronic music, you know. So he was the guy, of course, for that. But I like that still now, even though we have no clue what the future is, you know, electronic music is still the music of the future.
Of course.
And and it's the only way for us to see through the future, you know, through this music. So it has this power.
Yeah, it's also a very democratic music in that sense. You don't need to have special. Yeah, you don't need extreme special skills.
It's a universal.
Yeah, you could
universal language.
Yeah, it's a universal because it's a mathematical language. So it's kind of accessible to anyone. It doesn't look so much on if you have talent in your fingers to play a certain instrument, or if you have access to tutoring about that instrument. Yeah, I think I can say to electronic music.
And we're back.
Hello, no. So we're back, I think, with our last episode before the end. And since we're nearing the end, I would like to talk about the future.
Oh, I love the future.
I love the future too.
Because we are the future, no?
Yeah, it's in our hands.
What's the future?
I think the future is anything we can dream, and the truer we are to ourselves, the better the future will be, and everything is possible.
Do you think that the future has been denied for us?
I don't think the future's been denied, but I think also, again, I mean, you are French. I will come back to a cliche. I think it was great what they reminded in the late 60s as about like...
A certain utopia? You
no,
mean?
not the utopia. I'm trying to remember the phrase. It's like, be realistic, demand the impossible.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
I mean,
that's about dreaming.
And revolution.
Yeah, but it's also about dreaming. It means everything
dreaming
is possible.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important that we dance or do anything that keeps our heads and our hearts clear, because everything is possible.
Dreaming is the way for the future.
Yeah.
Dreaming the future.
Exactly, because I think a lot of what we think is happening now is like consciousness control.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important to control our own consciousness, to keep it like open so better things can start happening.
So more dreams.
More dreams and like more realistic dreaming. like follow your dreams, More dreaming, 23 hours a day.
Daydreaming.
Daydreaming, yeah.
Yeah. Create your own reality in a way.
I mean, it's
create your own reality and then follow it for the future.
Because your own reality is not more real than a TV program. Your own reality is more real.
Yeah.
The TV programs of what the news is like fabricated. So I think we owe it to ourselves to create better realities.
And the future is in our hands.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.